child. Corey Taylor, all our friends in hard rockin' news. Listen to the songs, listen to the stories, listen to the news. Have a good time, Jive Talkin' News Fun. So let's jive. Oh God, I don't know what I'm doing very well, but I'll tell you what, I think I cover it up pretty good, wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say I do a pretty good job covering up my mistakes and stuff? Welcome back to the slowest growing podcast in the world. That's right, we're almost kind of a cult. It's that small. It's that unique and small. But welcome back to episode 70. What is it? 77? Oh my heavens! Episode 77 of Jive Talkin with Shane Diablo. You can listen to it and watch it on Spotify. You can listen to it and watch it on YouTube. And this is where you're going to see this. If you're a deep rabbit holer of this channel, you'll know that I did a few videos where I lost my hat. My hat was gone. You're saying, Shane, you said you lost your hat. Well, that was not a lie. I lost it on the bicycle on my way home from work. I always stick it in the little handlebar thingy. There's a little double handlebar thing. Looks a lot like that. And I put the hat down in there, and I get up. It's all uphill on my way home. It's all uphill to get to this bus stop that'll take me out. And I get halfway up that hill, and the hat's gone. I don't know where it's at. And so I said, I'll go back down one hill, but I'm not going to go down a bunch of hills. And I could not find it. Well, flash forward next morning, ice cold, outside, bus stop, down. I hit that. Now it's all downhill. This big road is all downhill. And I don't see it. But then I get in my truck. You guys know I drive a truck for a living, a local truck driving situation. And I'm driving up to this 7-Eleven where I get I get a grape juice that I put wheatgrass in, wheatgrass powder. It's called Amazing Grass. And lo and behold, here it is. So this is it right here. Just for you folks that are going, wait a minute, is he telling fibs out of school? This is the hat. You can clearly see that right there. You can see the little strands and strings and doodles and stuff. More of that because it was run over several times. But I did not think twice about picking it up. The guys at the 7-Eleven were not happy with me because I washed it all off in their sink. But good news, hat back. Okay, let's get into this. This Dapper Dan right here, this guy that looks like Morrissey's younger brother, is Corey Taylor, and he blasts the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. At this point, who gives an S? Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Really? So he's really worked up about it, and I think there's a lot of bands that are worked up about it, right? That are worked up that they're... Slipknot's never getting in there, right? They're never going to get in. In a new interview with Jason Bailey of Audacity Check-In, Corey Taylor was asked which of these three projects, Slipknot, Stone Sour, or his solo band, he would want to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. If I was him, I'd say, how about all three? But, that's just being greedy. He responded, oh, Jesus. At this point, who gives a shit, really? To be honest, ... It's hard for me to say that they get it wrong because sometimes the people they induct 100% deserve it. But there's still so many groups that should go in before some of the ones that have. And it really upset me, dude. So at this point, it's like, I don't even know if I'll ever be considered for something like that. You won't. And I couldn't care less. Good, because you won't. To be honest, to me, that's a high five at the end of your career. I would rather have that later on. It's just something I don't really concern myself with, kind of, Would I be a stingy hog? I was going to say stingy. But stingy hog and want to be like the late, great David Crosby and be in there like 4 times? That would be great. If I could be in there for all 3 acts. There you go, baby. There you go. Be proud of your stuff that'll never get into the Rock Hall. Be proud of it. That'd be killer, he says. But I don't think I'm going to get in for one, so it's fine. I've got better things to do. Even though artists are eligible for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 25 years after the release of their first album or single, iconic hard rock and metal bands like Iron Maiden, and I just learned this, Motorhead, have yet to be recognized by the institution. What about Lemmy? How can you have a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Lemmy isn't in it? Sign off that right now. If Lemmy isn't in there in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, some form or fashion, that's not a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I bet you they got Elvis Presley right in there, didn't they? Have yet to be recognized by the institution, which inducted Guns N' Roses in the group's first year of eligibility. The Rock Hall didn't induct Black Sabbath until 2006, and Metallica followed 3 years later. Rock Hall rules, here's the Rock Hall rules, state that artists become eligible a quarter century after their first records were released. But the Hall also claims that other criteria, I'm trying to find the line, other criteria include the influence and significance of the artist's contribution to the development and perpetuation of rock and roll. That's not Lemmy? Which is, of course, open to interpretation. Eligible for induction since 1999, Kiss didn't get its first nomination until 2009 and was finally inducted in 2014. Deep Purple was eligible for the Rock Hall since 1993 but didn't get inducted until 2014. Same year as Kiss did. Judas Priest received a Musical Excellence Award at last year's Rock Hall event, with honors which honored Eminem, Dolly Parton, Duran Duran, Lionel Richie, Pat Benatar, Eurythmics, and Carly Simon. 2 years ago, Taylor, who's Taylor, said that he would Corey Taylor. Taylor said that he would probably take a page out of the Sex Pistols playbook by declining to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame if Slipknot was to ever get the nod. Oh, you crazy, crazy boy. What did Sex Pistol do? When the Sex Pistols induction was announced in 2006, lead singer Johnny Rotten, a.k.a. Johnny Lydon, sent along a hilariously blunt and grammatical incorrect handwritten letter in which he compared the Hall to urine in wine and added, "Next to the Sex Pistols Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a piss stain. We're sick not coming with sick not." What do these little six mean? Is that just where they bleep to swear or something? I've never understood what that is. We're sick not coming, we're sick not your monkey. Later he said, "I can't accept an accolade for them unless they offer me a shitload of money." So there you have that. Chad Kroeger. One thing I want to say about Chad Kroeger, he's going to talk about how the hatred for Nickelback is waning. And I heard a tune the other day, and I said, that's a pretty damn good rock jam. I think Photograph is pretty, what's it called? Look at this photograph or whatever. That's not good, but there's something about this guy's personality that has changed. When he had that long doo-wop hairdo, that it was long, but it was all one length, and he had the kind of bigger beard and mustache, and he was kind of shitty. He kind of went, "Well, we ain't got no Nickelback fans around here." He had a real a real machismo to him, like an irritated machismo man. This guy, he's all clean cut. He's got the hair. I've seen interviews with Chad Kroeger. He's a delight. He's funny. He loves good music. He's always going on about metal bands, Pantera and Seven Dust and all this shit. I like this dude. I didn't care much for the attitude of the other fella, but I think this guy is making a sordid effort to be a kinder person. Or maybe I'm just completely whacked. Nickelback fans can get down there and berate me, but he always come across a bit too kind of, mean. A little mean-spirited and a little, that hair was always flopping around and stuff on him, But Chad Kroeger says there's been a softening in hate for Nickelback. It's really nice to not be public enemy number one. And it's true, there was that time when the meme got started there, people were really having a hate for him. But In a new interview with Robin Nash of Tucson, Arizona's KFMA FM radio station, Nickelback frontman Chad Kroeger was asked why he thinks many people love to hate his band. He responded as transcribed, "That kind of used to be the thing. I shouldn't say the kind of used to be. That was definitely a thing for a long time. I think there's been a softening. There really has. Thankfully, I'm not sure if it's because we received a ton of love on TikTok or whatever the hell it is. But for whatever reason, the teeth have kind of been removed. It's really nice. It's really nice to not be public enemy number one. I think that with the range of songs that we write, from rock to all the softer melodic stuff, all the way down to, well, I know that Far Away got played on country stations. Even I know that Rockstar, our Rockstar Jam and Rockstar, the heavily redacted version got played on CMT. So when you're going that far and that scope is that wide, it makes it tough to get away from the band if you're not into the band. And if you're trying to switch the radio station 3 times and it's just like, there they are. There's their rock song on the rock station, and there's their pop song on the pop station, and oh my God, I can't even go to the goddamn country station and get away with these guys? That's ridiculous. I'm calling the channel. That type of oversaturation could saturation. What did I say? Saturation? That type of oversaturation could piss people off. But at the end of the day, we're just a band that makes music. What does he say here? I can't stand a couple of bands, but I don't go online and turn into keyboard warrior and just start hating on them. I just change the channel, or I put on something that I want to listen to. 3 months ago, Chad told Whiplash, the KLOS radio show host, Full Metal Jackie, that all the negative attention surrounding Nickelback has actually contributed to the band's longevity. Well, I've been saying that for years. All the detractors, all the haters, all the keyboard heroes, they have no idea how much they keep us in the press loop. It's hilarious. Those people that would love to see us go away, if they really wanted to see us go away, they would just shut up. Because all those bands that came out with us at the time are all gone because nobody said anything about them. That's like some that's like some Zen stuff, right? They're all gone because nobody said anything about them. They all just sort of disappeared. But we really kind of spun this whole negative thing into a positive thing. And here we are. Says it's laughs right there. Kroeger also talked about all the memes poking fun at Nickelback that regularly pop up on the internet, explaining that if it's music oriented and we think it's kind of funny, we just leave it there because the band collectively has a great sense of humor. I believe this. I've seen interviews with them. They seem like nice guys. I mean, funny's funny. Just rude and ignorant, that's different. And yeah, obviously there's tons of that too. But funny is funny. And as the Brits would say, we have no problem taking the piss out of ourselves. Arguably, the most disliked band in America, Nickelback, has earned a type of hatred so potent it's hard to fathom what they did that was so terrible to the public consciousness. It's gotten to the point that people who enjoy Nickelback are denying their fandom and hiding their CDs like criminal contraband. There you go. It's like what you had to do if you were a metalhead and you had a couple of Depeche Mode records. You had to hide those in the closet too. And you had to hide them in a different spot than your nudie magazines because your buddy was going to go in there and look for your nudies. And you had to hide your Depeche Mode CDs somewhere else so they wouldn't find them. This handsome lad right here is Richie Faulkner, by God, and he says that Iron Maiden's Steve Harris was an influence on his stage antics, his presence. You know, it's the thing that fires up an audience. You know, You get up there, and what are you doing on stage? Sure, you're playing that dumb song, whatever it is, breaking the law or whatever, breaking the law. But how are you rocking it? How are you giving it? How are you delivering it to the people? And this is what he's got to say about that. In a recent interview with Darren Paltrowitz, host of Paltrowcast with Darren Paltrowitz, Judas Priest guitarist Richie Faulkner spoke about the inspiration for his energetic and engaging stage presence. And it is energetic and engaging. As transcribed by the Blabbermouth, whom we love and we appreciate, because I like the way they lay all this stuff out, to be quite frank and honest with you. I just like the way it's all kind of laid out. I was out with Lauren Harris. Okay, this is Faulkner talking. Who the hell's Lauren Harris? You was out with his wife? You were out with his wife? You son of... Oh, maybe it's somebody else. I was out with Lauren Harris, who's Steve... Oh, God, they're going to explain it, guys. Who's Steve Harris's from Iron Maiden's daughter. Well, what are you doing with my daughter? We were out... I think he is married. Or isn't he dating? He's like really dating her. So she's like 40 or something. Come on. Don't be freaks. And we were out with Maiden quite a bit. And I always used to watch Steve and take notice of the way Steve was always at the front, and he was always at the people in their face, and he was singing with them, the eye contact. He was pointing at them. And I always thought, in this day and age of YouTube and videos and stuff like that, you can't recreate the interaction. I always kind of took that on board. And I think that's kind of, partly at least, where it comes from. Just that interaction that you, as a fan, you walk out that concert hall and you can't recreate that. That interaction with that artist on stage, whether it's a guitar player or a singer or a drummer, whatever it may be, you can't recreate that interaction that you share at that moment in time. And I think that's the valuable thing. So I think that's partly to do with it. Steve Harris, I think that's partly to do with it. Steve Harris and the way that interacted with the audience. I've told you the story about Cliff Burton. He slapped my hand. I was an impressionable little 12-year-old, 13, 14, something. I saw them, Master of Puppets. Boom. I'm up there front row. I got my hand out. It's a loosey-goosey crowd up there because they're like, Metallica, what? All these Ozzy Osbourne fans. He slapped my hand. And I remember that to this day. His face, what he was wearing, how he looked, everything else. And he was eyeballing me while he was playing. And he went down for the slap. And then he died like a month later in Sweden. Rest in peace. Faulkner joined Judas Priest in 2011 as the replacement for the band's founding guitarist, K.K. Downing. In September 2021, Faulkner suffered an acute cardiac aortic dissection during Priest's performance at the Louder Than Life Festival, just a short distance from Rudd Heart and Lung Center at U of L Health Jewish Hospital in Louisville, Kentucky. It took the hospital's cardiothoracic surgery team, led by Dr. Siddharth Pawar, and also including Dr. Brian Genzel and Mark Slaughter. Mark Slaughter was doing surgery on him? You got to be shitting me. This is a huge story if Mark Slaughter was doing open heart surgery on Richie Faulkner. Dr. Siddharth Pawar also included Dr. Brian Genzel and Mark Slaughter approximately 10 hours to complete the surgery. Yeah, Mark Slaughter was in there. He was going, we got to be up all night and sewing him up all day. Approximately 10 hours to complete the surgery, an aortic valve and ascending aorta replacement with hemiarch replacement. Very good. I've seen that done. It looks very good. It works very well. 2 weeks after his surgery, Faulkner told reporters how he felt while performing Painkiller with his bandmates at Louder Than Life. And I realized that he's got an English accent that I haven't been doing the whole time. I became a bit lightheaded. It didn't go away. I've never fainted before. I've never passed out. But I knew that this felt like I was going to pass out in a minute. Luckily, it was about halfway into the song. So obviously I had to finish the song. Jesus. If I had known how important it was, maybe I would have got off there a bit quicker. But I think that's the whole point of me. I had no idea whatsoever what it was. Faulkner said that he experienced a sharp pain as he was stepping off the stage. That's when it exploded. So the video they were showing there was like, watch his heart explode while he's playing the solo. That was a fib, right? Remember those stories? You saw them pop up? His aorta explodes right in the solo. Of course it's going to be right in the solo. It's not going to be in the lame verse. You know? I mean, it's not a lame verse, but, you know, it's going to be during the solo, bro. You know? But he's good and happy, and we're happy that he's alive. The more I read about it, the more astonishing it is to me to think that I've made it to the hospital. The amount of time when I actually got the pain and when I turned up in the hospital and when we were actually operating, it was quite a lot of time. The more I read about it, the more unbelievable the amount of time I didn't know how I'm still around today. Let's see what the aortic aneurysm is. It's a balloon-like bulges in the aorta, the large artery that carries blood from the heart through the chest and torso, according to the U.S. Centers of Disease Control. Dissection happens when the force of blood pumping can split the layer of the artery wall, allowing blood to leak between them. Jeez. Well, on a lighter note, let's get to old Jason Newstead here. One thing I'll say about him is when he talks, I listened to an interview with him and Eddie Trunk, and I wanted to look into this because maybe I thought that would be what it would be coming from, and I need to read what he says. He's like David Lee Roth in kind of, not as bad as David Lee Roth, but when you listen to him being interviewed, it's just like, I don't know what he just said. So I'm hoping that I can read what he said. Jason Newstead talks about his exit from Metallica, says he has always kept playing with whoever wants to play. He was doing the Chop House band for a while, this whole time too. And he was in Voivod there for a splash. In a new interview with the Sun Sentinel promoting this week's Newstead concert in Fort Lauderdale, if you're in Fort Lauderdale, Newstead's there. Jason Newstead was asked about Lars Ulrich's comment from a couple of years ago about how he come to understand why the bassist shocked the rock world by quitting Metallica. Asked if he was looking for a more creative outlet with EcoBrain than Voivod and Newstead, Jason said, I haven't changed my goals or quests, whatever you want to call it. I've always kept playing with whomever wanted to play, you know? The caliber has risen over time, certainly, but that's been my mentality before I was ever in the big band Metallica or anything. I kept playing many, many projects while I was still touring with Metallica, and through all those years, that never stopped. Now, if you remember, in Some Kind of Monster, they talk a little bit about that. And I thought that the reason why he quit Metallica was because he wanted to do EchoBrain as well. And James Hetfield and those guys were saying, no, we don't want you doing any other bands. You're doing this. And he went, well, you ain't going to tell me. Maybe that's different. He continued, Newstead was an extension of that when it started in 2012. We took it around the world, 22 or 24 countries. That same mentality and that same drive has always existed. So that's kind of what Lars is maybe talking about. I always wanted to keep my fire going. And then when I'd come back to play with Metallica, I would maybe be that much more ready and happy about doing it. I'm feeling more fulfilled if I'm able to do my thing with my boys over here and then get back to the big guys getting super loud. That was cool for me when I was not able to find the balance anymore. Maybe that's what he is speaking of. See, and I don't get any of that. Is it just me and I don't understand communications? When Ulrich and Metallica's James Hetfield talked to Apple's Music Zane Lowe in September 2022 about Newstead's decision to leave the band 20 years earlier, Hetfield said, "My theory now is I could love anybody, really. At the end of the day, you get to know them. You get to know where they've come from. You understand where their parents came from, all of that. How are you? How are you? I can accept that. I can really accept that. There was more to be revealed. I mean, really. I think he's talking about that they said that he was a bit of a goofy guy when they got him in the band. And then, of course, with Cliff Burton dying, they were putting him through the ringer because he was, he was the new guy, but he was also a bit goofy or something that they thought, right? He was at that point where he was at. He was at a point where he was at. We were at a point where we were at. It happened because it happened. If it was like that right now, say Robert Trujillo, Metallica current bassist, comes and says, "Hey, I'm done here," we would fight, or I would fight for him. I didn't know about that fight back then. Okay, so he's saying he's got a little bit more fight in him. If Robert Trujillo, how do you get someone to replace him? He's in the documentary Some Kind of Monster 2, trying out for him, so you should check that out if you haven't seen it. Okay, we're done with that. I don't want to get into Ulrich. David Coverdale's got a new haircut, everybody. He says, everyone says, "Oh my goodness, you got a haircut, David Coverdale." And he said, "In the still of the night, I got a haircut, baby." So let's see what he's going on about. He's got those beautiful, they're not rose-colored glasses, right? Not rose-colored, but maybe he's in that kind of blue. He's got that blue vibe going, but nice little bob cut he's got here. It's almost like Chad Kroger's. If you took this hair off and you put it on Nickelback, man, he'd turn to an ass again, right? Maybe. David Coverdale explains decision to cut his hair. "What were you thinking, you weirdo?" "I've been tempted to do it for a while." In a new interview with That Rocks, the weekly YouTube series hosted by Eddie Trunk Junk in the Truck, Jim Florentine, and Don Jameson. They did that metal show. I thought it was pretty good. I liked watching it. VH1, but this is on YouTube. I got to look into it. Former Deep Purple and current Whitesnake frontman David Coverdale opened up about his decision to change his trademark look, with the singer now sporting a cropped hairstyle, trading his blonde color for shades of gray. "I saw a picture." Has he? "Oh, I saw a picture of myself the other day from the Purple days. That I had these fucking huge burners going. It was dangerous to light a spliff near me, I think. I've been tempted to do it for a while, and last year was such a challenging year. I was on so much medication that it really crisped my hair. I looked like I was terrible Norwegian death metal band or something that never heard of conditioner." And you do got to use conditioner in your hair. If it gets longer, because it gets tangled up. And whatever that conditioner does, it gets it right out. Those tangles go right away. So it was the perfect time to embrace the gray. The 71-year-old Coverdale continued, "What was amazing was trying to find somebody that with the balls to actually cut the hair, because it was announced there would be potential death threats because it'd been such a long time. But it's fun. I'm enjoying it." David went on to say he has another hair appointment. He's got another hair appointment already? What? David went on to say that he has another hair appointment scheduled for later this week. Oh my gosh. Don't you take any more off, you ding dong. Don't you be go in for another deep massage, deep condition. Finally, I need a haircut. Which I never thought I'd hear myself saying. But I've got my hairdresser flying in on Sunday, so next time we see, I'll be freshly coiffed. The hairdresser is flying in from Los Angeles. You may know that. That's where all the really good hairdressers are now. Because I'm going balls deep with this. If I'm going to get a haircut, by God, I'm going to get my hair cut by the best. It's a modest flight. It's a short flight. And he's a doll, too. So he's throwing that out there saying, and it's a he. Because men can cut hair, too. They can do a good job. Anyone can cut hair good if you just practice. I think that's where it all comes together, is the practice. Go to barber school or something. The girl who did the original cut is a charming girl in Reno, and she had the balls to actually cut it off. And I'm going, Jesus Christ, sitting in my chair. I was up to here with hair. And he did like right under his tits. Put his hands up. I was up to here with hair. It was seriously long that time. Coverdale says that he has no misgivings about his new look. I'm sorry to piss people off, but I am who I am. Whitesnake canceled several European shows last summer and pulled out of its previously announced North American tour with the Scorpions. Last fall due to Coverdale's continued treatment for a persistent upper respiratory infection. Okay, there you have that. Want to get into your comments? I have heard some rumblings, and I know Mike Buchanan's going to be right here giving some hard grief. I've been hearing some comments are not showing up on the Jive Talkins, and I went into that folder and I looked, and I'm not seeing where they're at. I don't know what's happening with them. You must believe me. I'm not some kind of vindictive, maniacal guy going, I'm just going to delete comments. And I went into the pit of despair to look. But let's get into it. I think we've got a smattering here. We got Ryan Wade coming in. Let's see what he's got to say. Nice intro tune. Most of them are. Was that Blackie Lawless talking, or was it Adam West as Batman? Either or. You can have either or. Because we might at some point need to do Adam West. Lars, how the heck can you fit 900 plus people in the middle of the stage? How far spread out is the band? Does the Snake Pit get their own speakers and mix, or do they just hear the crappy stage monitor sound as they gaze up at James's balls and Kirk's double chin? His face looks like it's melting, doesn't it? I saw like a video, and it was, coming from up right under his nuts, and it looked like, I was like, his face is melting. He had a guitar pick in his mouth, but it was white, so it looked like his teeth or something. It looks like he's just microwaved. I think you were referring to platform heels boots, like in the movie I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. Yeah, maybe that's where I got the idea for the goldfish. There was a goldfish in water inside of a clear platform boot. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I have had a 35 plus year battle with a very specific and ridiculous trigger for anxiety: vomiting in public. I can't tell you how many times I've jumped out of my seat in a restaurant or a hockey game because of one of these freakouts. I turned 50 in a week, and I still have to fight my way through this irrational fear from time to time. That is so interesting, even though I have never vomited in public. But what if? Oh, that's interesting. So you get the dry heaves, like you feel like you're going to throw up, but you never have? Boom. Covered in sweat, heart pounding, it's so dumb. Now I just breathe my way through it, and it reminds myself it's effing ridiculous, and it goes away. Anxiety is a real bitch. Lucky for me, it is relegated to that one dumb thought. Great advice. Thank you. I often say similar words to people in my life. Stop freaking out over everything stop freaking, this is a good line here, people. Stop freaking out over things that are not happening. That outro was it. I love when you are inspired by the beat and just feel it flow off the cuff. Thank you. I mean, that's the way best songs are written, off the cuff and ready to go. Oh boy, I only read the first bit of this, so I thought we were going to have a pretty irritated freaking Mike Buchanan. I'm not lying to you here. Because it says, I'm giving up. So this is Mike Buchanan. I'm giving up. I've now posted a comment on this video 3 times, and 3 times it just goes into oblivion. Poof, gone. Think of something funny. Those are my jokes. Go watch your favorite bad movie. Mike out. And then all of a sudden, okay, don't twist my arm. Oh, I didn't see any of this, so I thought for sure I was just going to be delivering apologies. Okay, don't twist my arm. I will continue, but know this, if this goes poof again, and how would you know it? I'm not commenting anymore on this video. On just this video, though. But it went through, so you're fine. So this week's bad movie, but we love them anyway, is At Earth's Core, a 1976 movie about 2 explorers that drill into the surface of the planet to try to reach the center of the Earth, based on the book by Edgar Rice Burroughs from 1913. They had books back then? Starring one of the greatest bad movie actors, Peter Cushing. We love Peter Cushing. Yes, he was Grand Moff Tarkin in the New Hope. Yes, of Star Wars fame. He was also in a lot of Hammer movies, and he's just wonderful and fantastic. The 2 guys end up crashing and discovering that the Earth is hollow and inhabited by prehistoric creatures and people who are enslaved by man-like creatures. Check it out if you are a fan of bad movies like I am. Well, you could also watch Beneath the Planet of the Apes if you wanted to. It's got some human-like mutant creepy monsters. I'm loving this guy. You know, I'm loving the movie goes. Let's see. Rob Zombie. This is still Mike Buchanan. Rob Zombie is going to be just fine without John in the band. I can't say the same thing about Motley Crue. They are riding a wave of nostalgia right now that's going to crash eventually. Sorry, Metallica, no one is worth paying that kind of money to see live. Guess there's a sucker born every minute. He's got something on Miss Althea here. She's in the comments too. Miss Althea wrote about how she would see the movie if one was made of Dee's book. Not Dee's nuts, but Dee's book, Dee Snider. Things we should really petition them to cast Jason Bateman in the lead role. Amen. Either that would be awesome or so bad that it would, well, it's going to be, if you're making Dee Snider's book into a movie, But if you get Jason Bateman, he's also a writer-director, so he could probably go, Dee, I'm not doing that. It feels wrong to me. Either that would be awesome or so bad that it would make my bad movies we love list. Yeah. Bad movies are so good, so enjoyable. And now, your Jive Talkin jokes of the week. Where do boats go when they get sick? They go to the dock. Who is the fastest clothing designer in the world? Taylor Swift. Oh boy. What did the Lego alien say? I come in pieces. Where do pickles go to buy a car? The dealership. My heavens. I love bad jokes, too. What do you call a bee that has trouble making up its mind? A maybe? What kind of shoes do ninjas wear? Sneakers. And finally, When does a joke become a dad joke? When it becomes apparent. All right, there you go. There's the heart. I'm glad you came through. Miss Althea coming in here. The dumbstruck fool says John 5 and Nikki 6. And I love this. She's got it all pegged out for me because she knows I'm a slow wit. John 5 and Nikki 6. Wow. Never knew they had such the bromance. It almost makes me wonder if John named himself 5 because of 6. That's pretty good. And maybe John 7 was already taken. And I am feeling like if there was ever a biopic done of their friendship, it would air on the Hallmark Channel and not Netflix. Didn't Nikki 6 steal his name? Like he was dating a girl that used to date a guy that went by Nikki 6 and he stole the name? I could see that. I could see some name theft and some weirdness going on. And the Hallmark Channel, I would love to get acting gigs on there. I would love to get some kind of acting gigs in some independent horror films. And I would love to get acting gigs on Hallmark. Or just like the worst TV you can possibly put me on. You know, the worst TV show ever that's just like worst in every worst way. I would love to be on that. Still Miss Althea here. She says, I swear to God, I end up in so much pain laughing over your Vince Neil characterizations that one of these days Den is going to have to take me to urgent care for busted gut. Oh, well, I love that. And I'm going to give you a thumb for that instantly. But I thank you for that. And Vince thanks you for that. See, I do Vince, but I also do drunk Vince. Hey, boy, you got one and the start of the devil. Here's hoping, still Miss out there, here's hoping Blackie Lawless makes it back to the States without incident and that his journey on the road to recovery goes smoothly. Any bets on him declaring official retirement as soon as he's able to finish the last of the tour dates? Question mark. Get down there and answer that question for her. Frats. That's Dee Snider's book. Sounds like The Lords of Flatbush meets Saturday Night Fever. Not sure if I would have the patience to read the novel, but a movie version might be interesting to me if well cast and well executed with Jason Bateman, Miss Althea. It's been laid on the table. And by well cast, I mean if Jensen Ackles is in it, and Jason Bateman. You know when you say this right here, Frat sounds like The Lords of Flatbush meets Saturday Night Fever. I know what Saturday Night Fever is, but I guarantee you, if I just get the feeling that she nailed it right on the head, like if Dee Snider was said, so what's your book about, Dee? Well, it's kind of like The Lords of Flatbush meets kind of Saturday Night Fever. I just feel like that's exactly what he would say to someone at a dinner party or something, you know. Still Miss Althea, thank you for the reminder to be in the moment and to not get caught up in self-psych outs and 9 times out of 10 end up being a waste of energy. Granted, it's easier said than done. That's true. In some cases, but in those cases, sometimes all it takes is 1 or 2 deep breaths. Yes. Whatever gets you through as you get older too, you're worried about everything. You're like, fuck, I might have 20 years left. You're not focused on the time you're in right now. You know, you're not focused on this moment and the next moment and dinner and look at the friends and the family and kiss the dog and, throw out the cat and all that, you forget about it. And that's the key to it is if you're not in the moment and enjoying yourself, you just get to the end of this thing and you go, well, what the fuck? I was just worried the whole time. So deep breaths, whatever you can do to get through that anxiety, everybody's got it. There's your heart, Miss Althea. MB Aquan. I would click it, but it's going to do something weird. Your Lars Ulrich is spot on. I'll have to salute you. Thank you very much. Lars thanks you. I thank you. I don't think Lars would say that it's good. Bobby87 here. Hey, Shane. Oh, boy. Guys, look what he's done here. Bobby87, look what he's done. Hey, Shane, I have a music reaction request. Shock Paris. And the song, The Heat and the Fire. I thought we've done Shock Paris on the channel. All right. There's your heart. Nope. I can't give him the heart. I give him the thumb. I'll try and remember that, Bobby87. Put it somewhere else. Jolly Jake Lavelle coming in with GRANDSLAM. It's a grand slam. I couldn't agree. It's a quick and easy, breakfast in the morning, right? Steve Bernard, our pal. Wait a second. I thought Blackie don't need no doctor. Ooh. That was a missed joke there. We missed that. Wait a second. I thought Blackie don't need no doctor. His band must have heard cries in the night. Oh boy, what's he doing here? As Blackie lost his sex drive with a herniated disc. No, he's laying in some lyrical goods here. This guy's brilliant. This is like a haiku. We're going to read the whole thing again. Wait a second. I thought Blackie don't need no doctor. His band must have heard cries in the night as Blackie lost his sex drive. With a herniated disc like that, the torture never stops. Fantastic, fantastic one and all. Let's get it back over here to Morrissey. Morrissey's younger brother. Oh, ask me, I won't say no. How could I? We're getting out of here. Seize the day. Take care of yourself. Get on a bicycle. Get walking. Right? At my heaviest, I was almost 300 pounds. I'm still poor, but I'm working on it. I'm getting down there. I'm doing what I need to do to survive. Don't get too far off your goals. Sometimes you got to say, no, I can't have the chocolate bar tonight. Sometimes you got to say, no, I got to go walk. I've got to go walk the mile, even though you don't want to walk the mile. Sometimes you got to do that because as you get older, it's like Lars Ulrich said, you are exercising just to maintain, not to get stronger or whatever. But let's get at it. Let's do it. Come on. I'm not going to hit this button until I get something. And I always do that one too. Listen. That's a little hip hop going today. Let's get a nice pull. Let's hit tone 34. Sit right back and jive with me. Gonna have some fun and fancy free. Gonna do some news. Gonna have some fun. Gonna talk about stress. Talk about wow. Jive Talkin with the Shane D. Get your motherfucking heavy metal news for free. You can get it online. You can read the thing. You can go to Blabbermouth, but read it with me, shit. Let's jive.